Well, hello the internet, it's Ghost here, and welcome back to another round of Ghost attempts to do redstone and maybe fails miserably. Today, we're down in that cave that we appeared in at the end of last episode. I probably went down there, then realised I need to press stop recording and then start a new one. So yeah, today we're going to be adding in some note blocks, because I decided that I wanted to add allays. And I did some Googling on how on earth to kind of get that to function, and went, okay, I can totally manage this. I did then at some point pause and Google up the various different blocks that you could put note blocks on to get them to sound nice. Because I wanted whimsy, I didn't want weird noises. So yeah, I also had to try and work out how on earth to make these work properly. Because I kept putting blocks on top of them and wondering why it went silent. Once again, I don't understand all of the mechanics of this game. I just kind of build and hope things look pretty. I don't care about the mechanics up until about now when I do, because I need the mechanics to work for me. So yeah, that gets interesting. Once again, it's another round of Ghost is using night vision because this cave is not illuminated properly and otherwise I can't see what I'm doing. I just have constant night vision at this point. It's the only way things will work, because I'm spending so much time underground. I'm also then forgetting to actually put lighting in, because I'm like, oh yeah, it's perfectly bright, and then it's like, no, it isn't, is it? And then I'll come back down, night vision will run out, and it's pitch black again. This is also why I like playing in creative. I don't have to think about these things. I can just go, oh, it's too dark, let's grab night vision or light blocks and find really easy solution. So here I am messing around with the different note blocks, trying to make them sound pretty. I think I tried to get the harp sound, whatever the amethyst makes. Is it the chimes that the amethyst make? I tried to have things that sounded light and pretty and fun, and then just have these guys having the cart going back and forth, pressing the plates to make them play tunes. I probably could have tried to do one that just plays a tune going all of the way along and then looping back around, but I didn't do that. So yeah, I added in more powered rails to get it to go a bit quicker. Obviously it looks far faster here because it's time-lapsed. And then I think this is the point in which I discovered I cannot cover up the note blocks and had to kind of hope that they'd blend in a bit if I hid them. Couldn't put amethyst thingies on them, the air had to be entirely free above them, which was a problem. So I just kind of tried to distract with the whole surroundings. Realistically, you're not going to come back here, therefore it doesn't totally matter in my opinion that it's a bit weird. Everything in this world is a bit weird. There's things that if you look too closely, it's going to look strange. And then I apparently just stared at this for ages until I eventually decided what I wanted to do. There we go, got the allays and spawned the allays and tagged them so they don't despawn, and then watched to see where they went. And yeah, I liked them. I decided it was very pretty and cute, and when they do fly around, I really do like it. It adds to the atmospherics, which is of course why we were doing this. I then tunneled in, and I think I'm going to do another set of note blocks. Presumably I'm going to do another set of note blocks. Yes, I am, because I grabbed dirt and rails. And I wanted to have a slightly bigger one in here that would play something different on the other side of the cave. This was one of the few times I actually played Minecraft with the sound on. I don't do that particularly often, just because I don't need to. I'm not exactly listening for things that might explode on me. So yeah, it was quite nice actually to hear what Minecraft actually sounds like, because yeah, I very rarely hear normal Minecraft sounds, and the allays are so cute. So yeah, I added in this little circuit that would work and make a noise, and then hid everything in with moss so that it looked half decent. Went in, had to break one of the note blocks because it was the only way I was necessarily going to be able to get in to put things down. Tried to mess around with, I'm not even going to call it tuning because it isn't really tuning. I just kind of put them at different points so that the noise would always be slightly different from each block, and then started covering in with moss and trying to blend this section in. And then I could add more allays, and this is on the other side of the cave, the other ones, in the hopes that they will kind of intermingle. I then went and looked at the Nautiluses and decided that at some point I was going to have to actually deal with the gate situation, because I wanted to make sure that, you know, they could actually just swim around, because I hadn't done that and I felt bad. At some point I will build a bigger area for all these Nautiluses to go in. I just haven't done that yet, and that's a future me issue, because I have genuinely not started on that. I have filmed probably to about episode 95. I have not done anything to do with the Nautiluses. Yeah, they've kind of just been abandoned, so that's very much a future issue. Apparently I stared at my inventory for a while. My inventory is also very cluttered here. Eventually I declutter it via an end chest when I put one of those in. Not that I really need one, I just did. I stared at nothing for a long time. Oh, and then I got rid of the random blocks in my inventory that I definitely did not need. And then we went in and looked at these guys, and I decided to try and make a door with sticky pistons, which is something I have not done in years. Or at least I don't recall ever doing it on this Minecraft world, which means it has been years since I tried to do one of these. And no amount of logic could prepare me for what on earth I was about to undertake. It went a bit wrong very, very quickly. So I blocked off the area that I was going to actually put in the redstone into, because that would make my life theoretically far easier. And then put in the door. Well, the blocks for the bottom of the door. Is that a plane? Can I hear a plane? I don't know. And then I started adding in the sticky pistons, shaping out the walls a bit to try and give myself more space to work in. Put in a lever so that I had somewhere to control it from, that I'd be able to reach wherever. And then started trying to connect everything up. I primarily put the lever in at this point so that I could at least see when things had power. What I really wanted to do was to pull the door all the way back rather than just opening one block either side. But that didn't really work, and I had to kind of accept that there was going to realistically only be one set of doors. I don't quite know what I was trying to do, to be honest. It just didn't work. And I think at one point I did go Googling how to do a sticky piston door and just could not make sense of it. Yes, I could have watched a video, but I was probably watching something that I deemed far more interesting at the time, and therefore decided I can figure this out myself. It's not going to take me, I don't know, 30 minutes to try and figure out basic redstone. I could have got the old redstone manuals, because I think we still have those. Do you remember, like, the hardback ones that, I think it was sort of like 2015, they were a decently big thing. Maybe even before that. They were like the official handbooks that had like the pixelated bit on the front, and there were the 4 of them. Yeah, I kept the redstone one in the hopes of I'd actually try and learn redstone. I have not. Maybe that's something we should look to do going into the next series, because at this point I have so much footage recorded and so many projects I want to finish that realistically I don't think I'm going to focus on redstone anytime soon. There's stuff that needs to be done. There's also projects that kind of have gotten abandoned and are probably going to stay that way. But anything that I can visibly see from this area, we'll figure that out eventually. Keyword being eventually. I do still have my little, like, really dodgy plan drawing for the military base. Yeah, I guess with that, it was kind of the thing of we got Happy Gas, and that almost threw a bit too much of a curveball in. So then it became, well, I don't know what we're going to get in future updates. Maybe I need to wait and see. But I guess equally, because we're getting the drops, I do need to just crack on and finish it. Yeah, I need to figure that whole place out. I also need to go in and clear a space underground that's going to become the bunker that I want to build. It's going to have like loads of communication stuff in. I also need to get ideas for what that's actually going to look like, which is probably going to mean watching a lot of documentaries, which I'm not mad about. I love a documentary, but it is going to be moderately annoying to work everything out. So here we are. I finally get to the point that I have a functioning door, and I apparently just stare at the water moving for ages, probably in disbelief that I actually eventually worked it all out. Grabbed the water, levelled the water off, tested the door. Wow, the door works. Broke the other set of blocks. Whoop-de-doo, done. That is basically it for this video. I somehow managed to make this work. I did then eventually get rid of the fences and that bit in the middle, I think, as well. Because those nautiluses did not deserve that small of a space. I'd originally planned to just put one in and have them free roaming on each side, but then they could get out the bottom and it didn't work. So I freed the nautiluses, got rid of the prismarine, and yay, that was it. It was all done, and I was very happy. I then enderpearled out because that was far easier than trying to get away from the nautiluses. I will see you all next time, and goodbye the internet.